Hello, 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 and welcome back to the Compassionate Listener. Tonight, we're going to be covering teachings of the Four Agreements and the importance of this by Don Miguel. I know that there are a lot of people helping to understand the power of the Four Agreements, and I've been a believer in this book for a long time. I probably have 20, 30 copies here at my house that I teach people, and I work with people to help them understand. I want to do my little share screen here now, and I want to be able to start this process right away. It's going to be a longer class only because I put a lot of slides in here. So I want to get started for this evening. So again, welcome to the teachings of the Four Agreements by Don Miguel. And the basics of what we're going to be learning is before we start is this is part of the Compassionate Listening series. If you're a part of that, this is class 103, just so you can mark that down. And this is also my website is www.soulsolutionssxm.com. And of course, at the end of this series, we'll have some questions and answers. You also can find this series on YouTube and the Rumble channel when it's ready to go, and Instagram, though I still am trying to figure all this out. So thank you and welcome. So we're going to talk about the Four Agreements, and we're going to look at each agreement, and we're going to look at the depth, because each one has deep meaning, life-changing meaning. But we want to talk about being impeccable with your word. We're going to talk about do not take things personally. We're going to talk about do not make assumptions, which is a lot of that going on. Then we're going to talk about always doing your best. And then we'll take a deep dive into each one. But first, we're going to look at the why this practical guide shows such freedom. And we want to understand these are agreements with ourselves. Okay, these are not agreements with other people, but these are with ourselves. But before we jump into the depth of that, we want to take a look at the dream and the dreamer. We want to understand what we have going on here. So the mirror, okay, the mirror, I see myself in all of you. I'm a mirror to what I see. And what you reflect is a part of me. And I do not like, if I don't like what I see, I got to ask then, what is this smoke? What is it I don't see? What is keeping me from having this clear, beautiful picture of you? If I'm reacting to the smoke that you're putting out, what is this that's triggering me? If you're giving me something and I'm reacting, and that I am this smoky mirror then, like, because I have a not clear vision of what's going on. So the smoke is the dream and the mirror is the dreamer. And we do not see each other clearly because the smoke is between us, smoking mirrors. There's something fogging up. There's something blocking us from seeing the truth in each one of us, the other mirror. What is this blockage? What is this smoke? What is this smoke and how do I release it? And what are the lessons in releasing the smoke? What am I going to learn? So we're going to talk tonight about domestication. And this is like so appropriate with what's going on in the world right now. Domestication of human beings. Humans are creatures of great abilities, and we can definitely defy adversity. How do we fall into this domestication? So when I look at domestication, I look at how we have schedules, jobs, classrooms, expectations from others. We eat, sleep, and go to the bathroom on schedule. We're being a slave to a system. We're always behind. There's always a rat race. They pit each one of us against each other. And there's always competition. Like, what is that always about? There's a constant us against them, a continuous promotion of fear and war. And that's a lot going on. And we're domesticated into living in this lifestyle. So now we're beginning to see the many truths that are coming out. And we want to, and we can stop this momentum. But as we look at this, who is domesticating us? Who created this domestication on us? Who did this? So those who have been awake may have a really strong opinion on how we became domesticated. I do. But we have basically dark forces that have infiltrated every avenue that they could. The government, the education, the religious, the medical, the entertainment, the sports. All of this has been infiltrated and much more. It has taken many years of slow, purposeful, orchestrated, methodical movement, but the penetration of their plan has almost become fruitful. They've almost been able to take the world down with their plan. So when we look at their plan, we know that there's books of law. We need to understand the books of law, and they use these books of law in different ways. The books of laws are belief systems that we learn from our parents, our teachers, and society. The laws that we learn, the rules are there to help us be safe. The rules are help us to make sure we avoid chaos, to keep us organized, to make life a little smoother, a little easier. But when we talk about the rules, whose book of law are we talking about? Which book of law? So there's the law of the land, which is constitutional law, right? And that's what we thought we should be living because we're constitutional law, right? But there's then the law of the sea, which is admiralty law, which is what we're actually living under, not the constitutional law. And then again, we have God's law, which is our Bible. Which books are we learning, living under? Which books of law are we using? And then we look at the judge. The judge is something in our mind that judges everything we do, think, and feel. The judge also, can be a public official vested with authority to hear, determine, and preside over legal matters brought in a court. A person who's qualified to give an opinion. Someone who stresses the weighing evidence on which a conclusion is based. But why are we doing all this judging? Why do we have to have a bunch of judging? What is that about? And then the victim. These are all parts that we play. There's all pieces of the unfolding. So the victim, another part of us that carries blame, guilt, and shame. There's so many of us that are in a victimhood. So why are we victims? Being a victim means that someone else is residing over us in some way. The opposite of playing or allowing victimhood is taking responsibility. But some people give their power to others so they can make the decisions for them and then blame them when the others do something other than, and then, what they want. And rather than taking responsibility, it's easier to blame someone. So victimhood is rampant here, and people taking responsibility is not a major percentage right now. So when we look at how do we bring in personal freedom, there needs to be responsibility with that. You can't blame everybody else and have freedom. You got to toe a line here. So if you want to live in a life of joy and fulfillment, you need to have the courage to break agreements that are fear-based, and you need to claim your own freedom. So therefore, if you adopt these 4 agreements, they will create enough personal power for you to change your entire system of all of your agreements. These old agreements will be wiped out, and these new agreements will come forward, and you will have a different life. And I feel strongly about this. I think this is one of the major books that should be taught in all schools, all educational systems, how you make agreements with yourself. So agreement number 1 is about being impeccable with your word. That's free from flaw or blame. We're becoming flawless. So being impeccable with your word. Your word is powerful, and the power that you have to create is within your word. And through the word, you express your creative power. As you speak, you also listen. The mind hears what you're saying. And if you are speaking truth, love, and high vibration, you know this. Your body knows it. In the Bible, the absence of sin is being impeccable. And what are the characteristics of the word impeccable? Impeccable is flawless, faultless, irreproachable, impeccable manners, not liable to sin, incapable of sin. Like, you are impeccable. You're not going to ever do that. And being impeccable with your word is not always easy, but it's doable. So the many meanings to words. Now, we know that words have the ability to create love and to create fear. And your word can be a two-edged sword. It can create black magic. And in that black magic, it can destroy everything. Black magic is used to create chaos. An example is a mother who comes home tired from work one day, and her daughter's singing, and she's frustrated. So she yells at the daughter, "Just shut up. You have an ugly voice." She's not being loving and kind to her daughter, but she's also doing something that may destroy her daughter's dream because of her comment made in frustration. So that is black magic. And white magic can create beautiful dreams. You do not use your words against yourself. You correct any of the usage of your energy in the direction of truth. You always focus on truth and love for yourself, and you share your love. And you'll be immune from anyone putting a negative spell on you once you learn how to use this white magic. So what is impeccable, and how does one become impeccable with their words? You do not lie. You do not criticize. Do not exaggerate. Do not do this against yourself or others. Always tell the truth. Always be fair. Always try for the highest emotion. And do this for others and yourself, because words have power. Simple and powerful. It is the hardest agreement to honor. Through your word, you use your creative powers and you manifest your reality. So being impeccable with your word is something that we want to strive to do every day. Being truth, honorable, trustworthy with our words, and having this integrity of truthful words. So now looking at agreement number 2. Agreement number 2 is don't take things personal. And when you take things personally, it puts a little edge in there. So nothing others say is because of you. What others say and do is their projection of their own reality. It's their own dream. And when you are immune to others, you don't play the victim of needless suffering. You live in honesty. You don't care about these things. So I want you to close your eyes for just a moment while, unless you're driving, as I read this list, and I want you to feel your reaction to the words, okay? Are you a confident person? Do you know your worth? Are you able to work with satisfaction without compliments? Can you see your own flaws without condemning yourself? Do you forgive yourself for all your mistakes and move on easily? Do you get angry easily at others' opinions of your personal choices? Do you live your best life without reserve, or do you do what you're told? Are you open to others' opinions, but still have clear boundaries? Are you feeling hurt when others do not like your ideas or your taste? Do you change what you want to do because you do not want to upset another person who is telling you how to live your life? Do you blame others for the position you are now in life in any way? And are you triggered by any of these questions? You may open your eyes. So personal importance. Personal importance is the maximum importance of selfishness, because we make assumptions that everything is about me. During your domestication, you learn to take things personally. So nothing other people do is because of you. It is because of themselves. We need to understand this. It's about them. And it's not personal. Your experience in your life is just about your experiences. And other people's experiences are about their experiences. So have you ever had this rolling around in your head when somebody's talking to you and you feeling like insulted or confused by them? Oh, I was only kidding. Why do you get so upset? You know that I don't mean it. You know what I meant. There's nothing, oh, you're always so sensitive. That's a good one. Why do you twist my words? That is not what I said. And I do not say that. You misunderstood. And you are just like blank, fill in the blank. You're just like Bob. You're just like Tom. That sarcastic tone. And so we need to understand everybody has a point of view. Everybody is allowed to have their own point of view. And we have a picture of an accident here. There's a big accident. And the question is, what happened? What happened in this accident? But there's dozens of people, and all of those people are going to have different explanations from their point of view of what happened. Everybody has an opinion. So when we're looking at this term, poison darts, and poison darts come in many flavors, there's a lot of sarcasm involved in this. Things and statements like, boy, you've really gained some weight. Or do you think that you should be wearing that? Wow, you're still in school? Your parents must be rolling in their grave. Next time, let me pick who you date. You obviously have no taste. I told you so. And my all-time favorite. Oh, so you're one of those conspiracy idiots. Heard that a lot. This is just another person's opinion, another person's garbage. So if somebody makes this comment to you and you take it and you own it, you're just accepting their poison. And when you accept their poison, you're doing this to yourself. You have choices. You don't have to listen to this stuff. It's your movie. It's your choice. You can accept the poison or you don't accept the poison. That poison dart doesn't have to be yours. And so how can you tell whether you've accepted it or not? Do you have any emotions? You have your body's reaction. And, you know, what are you hearing? So some days it sounds just like blah, 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 blah. There are days people are complaining and talking. I don't hear anything they're saying because I'm not going to accept their opinion of anything. And that's perfectly fine. But the Four Agreement says we don't make assumptions. We don't take things personal. We are impeccable with our word. We do our best. So we really need to take a step back and say, I'm not taking on anything from anybody else. So once we begin to understand and comprehend, everything is energy. It's all energy. So what goes in your ears and out your mouth can become your future. Can it become your truth? Because your energy, if you're speaking it out loud and it's coming around back into your ears over and over again, yet vibration is making an impression in your brain. So fact versus feeling. The fact is, it's their opinion. It's their reality. You do not have to own it. That's a fact. You don't have to own that. But when you put your feelings on it, then you are owning it. When you have an emotion to something somebody's saying, you're owning it. And if you own it, then it becomes your reality. You'll own it and say, yes, this is my reality. And when it becomes your opinion, it is your reality and it is by your choice. So you're making a choice to believe somebody else's reality. So you need to really step back sometimes and say, is that my reality? Or am I doing this because somebody said so? And having confidence of self is such a key piece to having a wonderful life. When you have confidence and you're a confident person, you do not take things personally. And I'm blessed because I'm at the stage now where I just can't take things personally. But that means it means both ways too, though. So there's an example of somebody says, oh, Miguel, you are so awesome. You're such a genius. Or Miguel, you are so horrible. Either way, it will not affect you if you do not accept it. I'm grateful that people like the teachings that I have, but I don't base my life on the compliments I get or the insults I get. I know who I am. I know what I offer to the world, and I don't take things personally like that. So when you know who you are and you stay in your power and you stay confident, you listen to your words, but you do not take them personally. You are confident. And so I can listen to stories all day long and I know who I am at the end of the day. Is there disappointment if I lose a project or things don't go smoothly? Sure, sometimes, but I don't take it personally because I know who I am. I know my power. And when somebody's sharing their opinion, I don't have to believe it and I don't have to own it. So this is a good one. Why are you hurting me? If someone else is feeling hurt by what you're saying, they are telling you that they have wounds. They're saying, I have this place that hurts inside of me. And when you're saying anything like this, you're touching it. That's what they're saying. You're touching a pain inside of me because you're not doing it to them. Their pain is already inside. And when you're saying this, they're being touched inside. So if 1 minute a person is fine and you say a few words and they react, then your words touch something inside of them that is raw and it hurts. And you've touched their pain. So in your life, this is your movie. You get to play the part to be happy or sad, how much energy you want to put into each emotion. There are a lot of emotions on the emotional scale, and you get to choose where you want to hang out, what emotion you want to have, which is a whole class in itself. And your opinion of yourself, it may not be true. Your opinion may not be true. So we live in multiple realities. Where did you learn your opinion of yourself? Was it from your parents? Was it from the extended family, the culture, society, your friends, the movies, the church people? You may be believing things about yourself that cause an emotional reaction. So let's talk about that. This is really deep. There's a lot of programming going on in your life, and have been a lot of brainwashing, a lot of programming. So mitote is being in a place, like in a supermarket, a market square, and you see lots of people. So imagine you're in this marketplace and there's lots of people and you can hear everything. Each person has their thoughts, their opinions, their personal agreements. Everything has energy. Thoughts have energy. You have mitote in your mind, but you're not aware of it. You're hearing all these things, all these vibrations, all these energies. And many of your thoughts have emotions and therefore trigger you. And you may not remember until they're touched that your feelings are even hurt. So mitote is a lot of energy flowing back and forth in opinions and words, just like in a market square. Sometimes that can play a number on you. So taking things personally, we want to make sure that, we're not taking things personally. So how does this look for us? So when you're taking things personally, you set yourself up for suffrage. Yes, you're setting yourself up because you're allowing other people's opinions to affect you. There's many stories, many thoughts in your head over and over again, giving yourself more suffrage. It's just like this repeating story in your head. So it gets worse. You can control these thoughts though, and you can release these thoughts. So this is an important concept to understand. You don't have to take things personally, and you can just release these thoughts back to the universe. So the habits that heal, which is something we're all wanting, correct? You are immune to black magicians, broken systems, and not nice people when you don't take things personally. They can't get you. The whole world can gossip about you, and you will not care. You will not eat another person's poison, and you'll not feel hurt. You'll keep that strong, powerful smile on there because you just don't care what they're saying. And to begin to break the agreements that are within you, you didn't even know that they were there. You didn't know that they were agreements. And you'll be free from the suffrage as you do these habits of healing. And you will not have a place to trust in what others say and do. You will trust your own choices. You'll trust your own words. Others' words, they can't hurt you once you get into this stage of understanding. It's just their opinion, and you don't have to take it personal. So happiness is a choice, and so is suffrage. So if happiness is a choice and so is suffrage, then you can break the change. You can change this. You can make sure that you're not in this suffrage anymore. All right, now we're going to look at agreement number 3. Don't make assumptions. Assumptions are things that are accepted as true or as a certain thing that's happened without proof. Suspicion, conclusion, deduction, postulation, theory, surmise, reckoning. This happens as the taking on a power of responsibility, of making an assumption. And you hear these little whispers. You hear things like, oh, something is stolen, because it's missing. Or she's whispering when I walked by, she is talking about me. Or he didn't pay me today, he cheated me. These assumptions, you hear these little things going on. She called out sick again. She's probably at the beach. He looked at me strangely. He must be judging me. I came around the corner. They all stopped talking. You know, it's so there's all these little secret lies that we tell or we hear that aren't even the truth. And our expectations, you know, we have expectations of other people of what we think that they should be able to know about us. You know, I know what you're thinking. I know why you did that. By now you should know what I'm thinking. That's a fun one. You should know what I'm thinking. A new couple living together, you know, people try to make each other happy, telling the truth. Okay, thank you. And when you're not really, you don't mean it. Like you say, oh yeah, thank you very much, I appreciate it. And even if you don't mean it, you say it because that's the expectation, to play nice. And there's a cognitive dissonance that we talk about, especially when you're going the 3D into the 4D. So when we believe something, we believe we're right. And that's why some people are really good at telling you what you're doing wrong, but you can't tell them what they're doing wrong. So when we believe something, we believe we're right. We defend our position. We may even argue why the other is wrong, why another person is wrong and you're right. So we may shake our head or just walk away. But if your assumption is that you're right and you're not open to any possibility of communicating it, then you're missing many things in life. And you may even be lying to yourself about this. So it's important to understand, like, if you think everything you're doing is right and nothing you're doing is wrong, you might be in cognitive dissonance about the whole world going on, what's going on around you. Love, oh my goodness, love. When you love someone, you love them as they are. You cannot change another person. And it is what it is. You just, love is love, right? It is what it is. And if it is not what you want, be okay with walking away. You don't want to be in a relationship to change somebody else. It's like a take me or leave me situation. So many people think they can change someone by marriage or having a baby. And we want to look at, okay, clear communication. You speak truth, speak clearly. You communicate in a two-way street. I listen to you when you speak, and then you speak and I listen. So we want to be able to speak and listen both freely on both sides. And if either of us are not speaking the truth, we do not have clear communication. So to have clear communication, you got to really say this. Don't be afraid to ask questions. If you have a question, ask it. Clear communication. You want clear communication. So if you don't understand, keep asking questions until it's clear. Yes, you can be irritating, but you want clear communication. If it feels difficult, then you need to find your voice. Sometimes we need to step up and just do what needs to be done. At minimum, respond honestly. I do not understand. I do not agree. I'm not sure. I need to think about it. You need to be honest in your responses for clear communication. But don't be offended when you are asked questions either. You got to be able to answer the questions if somebody's asking you, because they also want clear communication. As you have the right to ask questions, the person you're in communication with also has the right to ask you for questions on clarity. With two-way clear communication, you can resolve issues. You need to have that two-way clear communication. And as a public service announcement, the communication style for the average human being may not work with narcissists. So we put that little caveat aside. All right. And here is, I thought I knew the truth because I learned it at church, or I thought I knew the truth because I heard it on the news. I thought I knew the truth because my teacher told me it was true. Those in authority will, they'll fix it because the government said so. My doctor knows what I need. So they don't always give us the truth. And they wouldn't lie to us. They wouldn't lie to us. They're here to help take care of us. So talk about the issues and ruffle feathers, I hope not, but climate control, 9/11, that was a clowns in action. Shuttle explosion. Those people are still alive. Maui, we know that was to take out the royal family. Vaccinations, well, we don't even want to go to that one. Moon landing. What things are you told? What things do you believe? because they've been pulling the wool over your eyes for a long time. And assumptions can wreck us. They can kill our confidence. You know, he doesn't like me. I'm not fast enough. I make too many mistakes. You know, I'll be late. I'm too old. These assumptions are ridiculous. And when you're gossiping, that's when you're talking about people behind their back. You're creating a negative juju. You're shooting poisonous darts at others. And therefore you're hurting yourselves when you're doing that. We hurt ourselves when we do that. So gossip is idle talk or rumor, especially about a personal or private affairs of others. There's no reason for that. We want to be able to, you know, treat others as we'd want to be treated. And agreement number 4, love this agreement. Always do your best. If you're always doing your best, which is our little goal here, this allows the first 3 agreements to become, ready, more deeply ingrained habits. So the first 3, if you're doing them and you're doing them well, and each day, each time, each opportunity, you're doing your best, then you're going to be able to become more deeply ingrained habits. So deeply means extending far from the surface of the area, such as extended far down, extending well inward from the outside surface, not superficially. Deeply means all the way with the innermost of the body. Ingrained means forming part of an essence or an innermost being worked into the fiber of a fabric. Ingrained. And habit, a settled tendency or manner of behavior. An acquired mode of behavior has become nearly or completely involuntary. A pattern of behavior acquired by frequent repetition and psychological exposure that shows itself as regulatory or increased faculty of performance becomes nearly or completely involuntary. So if you're deeply ingrained habit, right? If you're following the other 3, they're becoming deeply ingrained habits. This is the magic of all of it, because you're doing your best. And, you know, so let's look at what is your best. Doing your best changes in every moment, depending on what you're going through, no more, no less, right? That your best is your best. So you don't want to be overdoing it. You don't overtire yourself and have the potential to make mistakes and stretch yourself too thin, deplete yourself, or burnout. And we don't want to do too less, because then it leads to guilt, anxiety, and self-judgment. We question ourselves and why we didn't do something. And at the end of life, you know, not having things done, there's more regret than the things that we tried and failed. So give it your all. Just give it your all and do your best. And when are you at your personal best? That's a good question, right? So is it after your shower in the morning? Is it after waking up? Or is it when you've been hungry and you eat a fulfilling meal? Are you at your best after you've just filled your belly? Are you at your best when you're meditating? And when you have vented or you've had a heart-to-heart conversation, do you feel better then because you've been able to release a lot of pent-up energy? You know, maybe quenching your thirst after a long walk or an exercise. Maybe while dancing or singing to your favorite song. Stretching after sitting at your desk for a long time. There's all these different times and more that you can be at your personal best. So understanding your best is different in every situation. Like this little guy over here, he may not be having a good day. He's got a little tissue there taking care of his nose. You may not be at your best when you're sick and you're in bed, or you're out doing errands with friends stuck in traffic. Maybe you are doing good with your girlfriends, or you're out shopping and it feels great. But living life intensely, I love that terminology. When you're in the flow, you're productive. When you stay in your best, your efforts just feel effortless. You're good to yourself, your family, your friends, your community, so on and so on. You're good to everyone. And when you're in the flow, you're in your happy place serving others. When you're a happy place, you take action because it feels good. And you do it without thinking of reward. It's in the flow and you're in your passion. When you're having to go to work versus getting to go to work, different feeling. You're waking up at your daily, at your end of your day, it's just different. The lower the vibration, the easier it is to drain you. The more drained you are, the harder it is to have a good start the next day. So drinking and overeating to remove pain and grasping at things to relieve pain only make the lack of energy worse. So doing work for the reward is like monkey working for their peanuts. So we want to do things because we love it, because we're inspired, because we're drawn to it, not because we have to. And we have to do our job, and there's things that we have to do through life. But when we have the ability to make choices, we want to do it from passion. So the benefits of doing your best is there's no judgments, the free-flowing love, time flies by happily with no regrets. You have more fun, you laugh more, things happen to you, are always good things happening. You get more accomplished. You track others like yourself. Yeah, like you. This agreement sets you free. You accept yourself for who you are. You learn from your mistakes because you know it practicing, because you know it is practicing. So I love learning from my mistakes because if I learn, then I don't make the mistake again. If you're you also know you're doing your best if you're not pleasing other people, that you make sure you're taking care of you first. You do your best if it's because you want it. It's your choice. You choose for what you're doing. You choose the choices of what's best for you. And when you are made to do something, which is a different vibration, it causes a negative flow of energy, a lack of energy, causing a stagnation. And stagnations lead to older, lower vibrations, and which lead to disease of the body, meaning dis-ease, a not ease of the body when we're holding these low vibrations for any amount of time. So we want to make sure we want to love our body. We want to take care of ourselves. I just love you. I take care of you. This is the holder of my precious energy. I just love my body. I bathe it. I adore it. I clean it. I keep it strong. I appreciate my mind and the focus I have to put on this world and create. I'm a spark of God's light. I am saying, thank you, God. Thank you for this precious vessel that I'm experiencing in this life. And of course, I fulfill the needs of my body. I enjoy your body, love your body, feed it, clean it, and heal your body, exercise it, find ways to love it and to say thank you. And letting go of the past and appreciating the now moment, right here, right now, and be excited for the potentiality of your future, because there's a lot of cool stuff that can come now. Living in the past means you're only partly living in your now. This leads to pity, suffering, and tears. So we want to get up every day and we want to say, thank you, God. Thank you for these blessings, and I love you. This body is awesome. So when you just do your best, that's really what the most we can do is our best. So if you're doing your best, the habits of misusing your words, taking things personally, and making assumptions will become weaker and less frequent with time. Don't judge yourself with guilt and punishment, and watch your body, mind, and spirit become stronger and stronger. And the best lesson, and I love this lesson, the best lesson is if you fall down, get back up. You fall down again, get back up again. Each time you fall, you get back up again. Each time getting up becomes easier. So you're not expected to be perfect, but doing your best is your reward in your life. It's just a beautiful reward knowing I did my best. And each time you want to start over again, you can start over again. So this was the quick overview of the 4 agreements. And I want to thank you for joining this program. And I want you to remember that this is teachings. I'm Dr. Barb Trumlett, and these are teachings on the energy psychology, energy medicine, metaphysics, and the science of spirituality. It's your life, it's your energy, and you are not a victim. So I encourage you to continue taking these programs through the Soul Solutions, www.soulsolutionssxm.com. Get involved with this, make your life a beautiful place to be, or even find ways to bring these teachings into the school systems for the children. So thank you very much for your time. Enjoy the lessons that you've been taught. And I'd love to hear how that they unfold. Thank you very much. And I appreciate that. I'm going to take the stop screen off. So again, make sure that you read through and enjoy it a couple times. If you have questions at the end of this series, we will be getting together and we'll go over the questions and answers. Enjoy your life, folks. This is a brilliant time to be alive. Love you. Namaste. Thank you very much. And I look forward to seeing you in the next part.